Hello, my name is Tammy Demirza, and welcome to your free ebook, Welcome to the Challenges of an Older Soul, where we will uncover 3 things that keep you stuck. First, let's discuss what being an older soul means and why would you need to know if you are one. Older souls are sensitive, caring, innocent-hearted souls with an innate need to grow. They have done a lot of spiritual work in their lives, in other lives, as well as in this one. They struggle with the lack of boundaries, codependent relationships, and the desire to hide. They are generally hypersensitive with an awareness that they cannot explain. They also feel alone because when trying to help others, they are greatly misunderstood. They come into difficult soul curriculums and struggle with them because they don't understand why they cannot seem to overcome things that limit their ability to do the big thing that they feel they know they came here to do. They often think, if only this would change my life, then I could do this or that. The truth is, the pain of being stuck is excruciating to an older soul. Have you ever felt like something is blocking you from doing what you came here to do? Have you ever felt the exhaustion from knowing that you came here to do something profound and touch people in a significant way, but you don't know what it is and certainly don't know how to get past whatever is occurring that keeps you from being able to? If you have, I'm willing to bet that you are an older soul. And if that's true, you also keep hoping for change, right? But here's the thing, hope doesn't bring results. The reason it is important to know if you are an older soul is because once you identify as one, you can turn the trauma and the pain you experience into power. You can recognize that all of the struggles that you go through reveal abilities that, once identified, can change not only your life, but everyone around you and ultimately the world. My name is Tammy Demirza, and as an older soul, I have learned that I can have whatever I want when I move out of resistance. My life is now full of friends, abundance, and purpose. And I love what I do and the ways that I am supported by the universe. But it wasn't always this way. Years ago, I struggled with lack of money and friends. I felt very much alone. I also created a lot of trauma drama and couldn't understand why my painful life lessons, the very predicaments that I got myself into, were constantly in my face. These weren't small issues I was going through either. They were huge, like being homeless for a time. And I had to learn how to overcome them with the universal and spiritual laws that govern the space we call Earth. I had to learn how to play the game and write my own script. Through conscious alchemy and trial and error, I learned the perfect techniques to attract my heart's desire and live in abundance. Now, that's not to say that I didn't still have my struggles, the greatest of which was money. It was my biggest source of pain. In fact, when I found myself unable to pay my bills or rent and facing homelessness for a second time, I knew I had to figure out how to live in my car if it came down to it. I knew that I might not be able to keep the things that I'd already manifested. I called my son to confide my exasperation. I told him how tired I was of my life being so dramatic, of constantly feeling like I was about to fall off a cliff. I explained how tired I was of having to learn my lessons the same hard way. I explained to him that I'd manifest a miracle in the last minute that would allow me to pay the bills and feel the peace and ease, only to have it again face it again the very next month or two, and how upset I was and tired of this pattern. I knew that I had to buckle down and do the inner work necessary to heal whatever was holding me back, what was keeping me stuck, and what was causing me pain. I knew this wasn't just what was just a predicament in my life that I could change because I'd been manifesting for years. I knew how to consciously create through alchemy. However, in that moment, I felt too tired to do it. So I complained instead. Sometimes you can get so caught up with the pain of what you see that you cannot think past it. It grabs you, holds you, locks you in prison, and takes away the key, or so you think. Thankfully, though, in my case, the universe knew how to reach me. My son said, "Mom, everyone who knows you intimately, including me, knows that when you want a glass of water, you will go to a fire hydrant to get it." I started dying laughing at this point, and he laughed with me before continuing. "You do things big, Mom. When are you going to accept that? That is who you are. Just face it and do what you need to do because you can." I knew his words were truth, and the shock of them stopped my crying. But within seconds, I felt the pain return. I was caught in my own hell, looking only at what was happening in the moment, rather than acknowledging that I had choices. I could change my mind. My son wasn't done yet, thankfully. "Mom, you are the only person on this planet who I have watched overcome homelessness, along with things no one else I know could have. This thing in your life right now is just something else for you to overcome. You've got this." Again, my son's words rang true. I started to realize the trap I'd gotten myself into and decided that if he believed in me, then I could believe in myself. I needed to step in and do something about this. This contrast was real, and he was unwavering in his faith that this was just a temporary issue for me and that I was living with a small and limited mindset. Once we were off the phone, I remembered the day that I had texted him, letting him know that I was leaving Cary, North Carolina to go to Greenville, South Carolina. When he asked me if I was okay, I simply texted back saying, "Yes, I'm going to Greenville to pick up my new car and wanted you to know." He called me back while I was still on the road and told me that he was puzzled as to why, with what had happened in my life and how bad it had gotten these years before, how I was walking into a Lexus dealership to buy a new car with bad credit resulting from being homeless and no job. He was literally shaking his head, unable to comprehend how I could do that. He even confessed in that moment that he sometimes got so upset at the fact that he worked so hard to get what he needed in life, while I seemed to just create miracles out of thin air. His words and that memory pulled me out of my funk, and I decided that it was time to finally do something about my situation. I accepted his advice and decided to use it. My heart turned to gratitude. From there, I went from earning just $24,000 in the previous year to $35,000 that year, then to $88,000 the following year, and then $55,000 the next year. Next, it was time for me to hire a mentor. And in order to do so, I knew I would have to manifest by using the alchemy techniques I'd learned along my journey. I committed to that desire and that innate knowing that even though I didn't have the money, it was time for me to do it. I attracted the money and went from earning $55,000 in 1 year to $294,000 in 1 year. I grew my income to $304,000 the following year, and then in 2021 to $421,000. The best part, I have never had issues with finances again because I overcame the predicament or symptom of living small, of not having enough. I dismantled my limiting beliefs around not getting what I wanted. Right now, you might be thinking, but how? How can someone do that? Isn't that impossible? No, it's not. And if I can do it, so can you, because all of the same principles apply to us. You see, there are laws that govern what we experience on earth. These don't change, and we live them daily, mostly without the awareness that they exist. What would your life be if you understood the power within you and the hidden ways that you could use it? You don't have to suffer anymore. Just like I stopped that kind of suffering. You are here because you want to learn about the things that keep you stuck, repeating your same patterns. I have good news and I have bad news. The bad news is that until you become clear about what is keeping you on the hamster wheel, you cannot stop. The wheel goes round and round, and all you feel is exhausted while getting nowhere fast. The good news is, however, that once you learn the principles and how to use your abilities, you not only change your life, but you attract your heart's desire. Are you ready to find out why you aren't getting what you want? It starts right here with the 3 common misunderstandings that older souls make. Misunderstanding 1. Without realizing it, you create drama in your life. The bigger your life's curriculum and lessons, the older of a soul you are. You aren't here to do small things. Trying to live that way is devastating. You must accept your true nature, that you came here to do big things. We old souls know we came here to do big things and often feel the weight of the world on our shoulders. This is because no matter what we do or how big it is, when we aren't doing the thing that fulfills us, we suffer more. We create unnecessary drama that ultimately causes us pain. Here's what I mean when I talk about suffering for the wrong reasons. One of my clients, who I will call Marianne, was going through a lot. Even though she was married, she was lonely. She felt unfulfilled in life and was looking for friends. She was searching for someone she could feel a connection with because she thought that would resolve the attention she craved. But this was only a symptom of something much deeper. What she really wanted and was looking for was for others to meet her inner needs. The problem was, only she could meet them. She just didn't know that yet. The pain was captivating her attention, so she searched for others to make her feel better. As an older soul, this is a commonality. We seek deeper connections because we inherently know that we are all one and are supposed to be together on the playground having fun. Marianne's heart and soul longed for a friend who she could confide in and spend time with. She wanted someone to really know her. But instead of finding healthy relationships and friendships, she found herself attracted to people with whom she became codependent. This created a great amount of drama in her life. She got entangled in relationships that were toxic, and one day, completely devastated by someone else's failure to meet her expectations, she collapsed into depression. She created this drama, the same type she had gone through for more than 4 years in this specific relationship, all because of the knowing that she had around the necessity of connection. The big problem, though, was that she had disconnected from herself. And when one does that, it is very difficult to have a true connection with another. The good news is that she faced what she had attracted and why. She learned to love herself and meet her own needs. Now, she is a powerful woman who experiences more love for herself as well as with her husband and family. Here's one thing you can do to stop the drama. Accept that you inadvertently do things dramatically, and consider that the power within you to create that drama can be redirected to create everything you want. That power is only one of your unique abilities. In my Older Souls Unleashed workshop, we will talk about how to uncover your unique abilities as an older soul. We'll explore dozens of special powers that you already have that can empower you to live a more peaceful, fulfilling, and abundant life. I've done it, and so can you. Misunderstanding number 2. As a deeply sensitive old soul, the world often feels like too much, so you hide. Being in public is sometimes too much, so you tend to become reclusive and seek solitude. That is much more comfortable than exposing yourself to the energy and attitudes of others. Over time, it becomes easier to hide in your little cave. Because of this, you find yourself unaccepting of friendships, intimate relationships, and even career opportunities because you don't want the hassle of dealing with others. You may avoid meeting someone from a dating site or joining meetups thinking you are fine on your own. You may even feel a sense of relief from all of the stress that you tend to feel when you are around others, when you seclude yourself. For a while, this type of hiding may placate you, but the truth is, because you are an older soul, you need to be connected with others. So the hiding behavior ultimately costs you years of lost opportunities, abundance, and possibilities that you could have enjoyed. If you're honest with yourself, there is an unquenchable yearning within you to have loving relationships, to do things, to have a significant other and friends to celebrate with, shop with, and share a movie with. You vacillate between being happy about being alone and feeling the pain of separation between yourself and humanity. As time goes on, the loneliness gets more intense, and depression and anxiety take over, even if incrementally. Let me illustrate the effects of hiding by sharing a story about a client of mine. When Jacqueline started working with me, I intuitively knew that she was caught in this hiding trap. She had gone through a divorce and believed that her time alone was satisfying. However, one day in a mentoring session with me, the loneliness was intuitively addressed as I described in detail a scene to her. She was going into the grocery store and starting conversations with total strangers just to feel better about herself. She would also go just to instigate people smiling at her to get attention. She wept because she recognized her pattern. From there, the work began as she endeavored to understand her need for connection and how to honor it. Ultimately, Jacqueline came out of her shell, and she now travels around the world with friends she gained by stopping that pattern of hiding and playing small. You see, the older soul inherently recognizes the need to be together instead of separate. Yet we find ourselves seeking that solitude because it feels easier, except it isn't. Here's one thing that you can do to stop hiding starting today. Understand that when you feel the need to separate yourself, it is not because you cannot handle being around others. Rather, it is because you are tuning into them with your abilities as an older soul. How does that create trauma drama for you? Because your hypersensitivity means that you read others and their energy. And when you don't know what to do with that ability, you will take on the energy of others and you'll bear the weight of it. This behavior can cause you a lot of long-term discomfort because, again, you know that you came here to do something big. Unfortunately, the big thing you are doing is carrying the burdens of others instead of unleashing the power within you, and using it for yourself. In my Older Souls workshop, we'll spend time talking about how to become empowered instead of taking on the energy of others. You don't have to be alone, and you weren't created to be. Misunderstanding number 3. If you don't believe you deserve abundance, you will sabotage things that will prove that otherwise. Are you suffering because you want things, but no matter what you do, you can't have them? Everything seems just beyond your reach. Money comes and goes fast as you face issue after issue that requires the money that you make and then some. The minute you receive money, it spills through your fingers like sand. You cannot hold on to it, and the joy of receiving it goes away quickly as the pain of not having enough comes around again. The angst and discomfort you experience upon realizing that you could have, should have, and that there are many things that you want that are simply unobtainable keep you stuck in the prison of wanting. You say to yourself, I'll wait. It will come, but it won't. You are experiencing lack because of your limiting beliefs. And in order to have the money and your desires, in order to change your life, you have to change what you are unconsciously creating. While waiting, you lose time, and older souls cannot stand being stuck. So why wait? You can free yourself today and experience what you want. When your soul and the universe presents you with a problem, it is really just a symptom of something within you that needs healing. Once you overcome it, you will never experience, and I'm smiling because this is so big, that particular issue again, because there will be no reason for the universe to repeat the symptom. You will have learned the lesson and done the healing. Therefore, that part of your curriculum will be complete and you will graduate. Here is an illustration of this concept. Charlotte came to me wanting answers. Turns out, older souls know enough to get themselves into trouble, and they believe they already know what the issues are. So she was unable to open up and really listen because I wasn't giving her the information that she thought from her limited perspective would solve all of her issues. What she thought she wanted was not actually what she hired me for. What she received was truth that would ultimately lead to her own freedom. There are 5 facets to her journey, all of which I was aware of while sitting in front of her in the very first session. She thought the problem she was experiencing had something to do with her career, when in actuality, it all went back to her relationships with her mother, her husband, and herself. She decided to sign up for my Confusion to Clarity mentoring program and began her intense journey of listening and feeling the truth of what was being given to her. She started to see the value of it when she used it. She started understanding the game and how to play it. But there was one thing that was still plaguing her, causing her great pain. No matter how many miracles happened, having her dream job weighed heavy on her mind. Deep down, she knew she deserved it, and she embraced that. She began to learn alchemy in the mentoring and how to get out of her own way. She learned and adopted this principle. What you want wants you, Charlotte. So let's get you there. With time, she overcame the pain and began to move into what she wanted and why. This set her entire life on a different course. She now lives in another state and has the job she had dreamed of. She not only loves her new home, but her fellow employees and the money she makes because her expertise is honored. If you, like Charlotte, are thinking from a very limited perspective about what is going wrong in your life, then you will suffer and continue to suffer by playing small until you uncover the root of the real issues. If you don't believe you are deserving of what you want, here's a tip that you can use to overcome that limiting belief. Believe that you are more than where you are, what you have experienced, and what you have. Your heart knows what you want. State it out loud that it is yours. By doing so, you honor it and come into agreement with it. Doing so will begin your journey toward getting it. In my Older Souls Unleashed workshop, I will not only teach the concept of alchemy and share how I have used it to overcome so much in my own life, but we will practice it together as well in a group setting. Imagine being in that space where everybody is of one accord with that high vibration of alchemy and the support and the energy surrounding all of you. I'd love for you to take a quick moment to imagine something with me now. Imagine having a life where you don't create trauma drama that hurts you and keeps you playing small. You don't struggle for being different and therefore don't see the need to hide and conceal who you are. And you have the abundance you want because you've learned how to create with your own power. In all my experience working with clients, dealing with myriad problems and issues, not one of them lacked the tools and abilities within them to overcome their adversities, whether related to relationships, limits, lack of abundance, or realizing their desires. It's time to embrace the wholeness of you. Are you ready to begin? If so, click on the link below. Thank you for joining me. It is my honor to be of service to you. And with love, I am Tammy.